listening to Off Limits. Liberal, irreverent, oh, and really, really gay. you can also use Skype and call in with the Skype program, and you can do that by dialing Off Limits Show or with the number I just gave you, which once again is 214-377-0481. So tonight's a Brain Purge show again. So just trying to sort of get things off my chest, or things I'm thinking and feeling or whatever lately, and tell you what's going on with me and what's going on in the world, etc. Here on Spreaker, I'm doing the show as I do quite often on here. And I've been moving it over from Blog Talk Radio to here. And, it's really kind of a new beginning because it's starting over with a new audience, with a new sort of goal as well. And I'll talk a bit about that in a little bit too. But there's so much to say on Spreaker because Spreaker has been really cool so far, and fortunately it hasn't yet been too polluted by some of the trolls, some other places, and I think most people on online seem to be a little narcissistic anyway, because all they want to do is talk about themselves, and that's what I do on my show, is talk about myself. But it's really rare. Most of the time I talk about other people's problems and issues on the show. And I enjoy doing the show here, and it's been a good experience so far. So hopefully it will continue to be so, and hopefully it won't be polluted by too many morons and idiots like there have been in other places around online, especially on Blog Talk Radio. But we shall see. So today I've had a bit of a boring day. I mean, today I worked on the edition, doing that, and up until now I've had everything done by contractors, but actually I'm doing the painting myself, and the priming, the painting, and that kind of stuff, because it's easy and it saves thousands of dollars. So I'm doing that myself. Unfortunately, it's been a reminder of why I hate doing manual labor. I really hate it. I don't like it. I know why now. I never went into that field, or any field where manual labor would be necessary. And, I just feel, I have a great respect for people who do it, because it is really hard work. And, it sounds like painting wouldn't be that hard, but I'm using a roller over my head on the ceiling, of course, and then the walls, the primer is what I did today. And then I'll be doing it again when I get the paint this week to do that. So it's very tiring, but actually it's a good workout. It's a good alternative to the gym. That's why so many contractors are in such good shape, so many hot contractors and their hot chiseled bodies, So it's been good though for me, because most of the time I'm sitting in my chair working, or sitting in my chair chatting online or something, and not really doing anything active anymore, except when I go to the gym. And the gym can get really boring, because it's like, if you go to the gym, you're sitting there on the treadmill, or standing there on the treadmill, running on the treadmill rather, and all you're doing is running and 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 running, and running is very boring to me. I hate running. I hate running for real, like out in the streets. Or I hate running in any capacity whatsoever. I just don't really like exercise. The only reason I do it is for health and for attractiveness, and that's why most people do it, of course. But I really hate it. I think it's horrible that we have to exercise. And the only reason we have to exercise really is because we, as human beings, have been somewhat, I don't know, we're so lazy now compared to what we once were. Before we were able to sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? We would have to go out and gather for food, or we'd have to go out and search for what we're looking for, whether it's for tools or materials to build our homes or our shelters. And now, unfortunately, these days we can pretty much get everything we want directly to us. So it's definitely a difference, I think, between the way we were built to be and what we were meant to do. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I was testing something out. Sorry about that. I was trying to test something out here on Spreaker to make sure people could hear me. Okay. So anyway, Sorry about that. So I think so because that's why we need exercise today, because no one really wants to do it. I mean, it's just a boring, completely boring, um, thing to do. It's a mundane thing to do, because most of the time when you're exercising, you're just doing something repetitive and really not interesting at all or mentally stimulating. And for someone like myself, that's something that's very important to me, is to be mentally or intellectually stimulated when I'm doing anything. Otherwise, I get very bored very quickly. And I've always been that way since I was a kid. And I feel like it's important that for me, I feel it's more fun to do an activity that's active and you still get exercise through, rather than actually just go to the gym and stuff. This is what I typically do, but I'm saying that, something like tennis, which I love, or swimming, which I love, or going hiking or something and seeing some beautiful views or vistas or whatever, and or walking around a park or whatever, biking or something that's actually fun and not something you're just sitting there doing nothing. So I'm going to try to start doing that and try to incorporate more exciting activities in my life, and not just do things because it's gym related, or do things because it may actually make me look better, but because it's fun and something I can actually do activities with, and something that's also intellectually stimulating. Like, I would love to be able to play tennis. I'd love to, if I could have a tennis court in my backyard, which I can, which most people can't because they're huge and most people don't have enough land for that. But especially if you live in the city like I do. But it is something that's, I think I would love to have a tennis court. I would love to have the ability to play tennis and actually, just do that and get my exercise that way, instead of actually just, going to the fucking gym and all that shit. So, but my husband doesn't really like to play tennis, and I love it to play tennis. I play on the Wii sometimes, and I will, I have the, it's like the professional tennis one or whatever. It's like, you can play any of the famous stars like Andre Agassi or Roger Federer and so on, or Pete Sampras, or whomever you want to play, or men or women or whatever, Martina Navratilova, and on and on and on, or Venus or Serena Williams. I mean, you can play all the greats, and it's really cool because the game I have, I can't remember what it's called. It's not the one that comes with a Wii, the one that's that stupid one, the little bobblehead people. It's not that one. This one's actually professional tennis, and you actually can just sort of, you actually use your Wii controller and you play tennis with it, and just like you would for real, and it actually responds to the ball hitting the quote unquote, racket, and how you turn your wrist controls how the ball spins, and everything. So it's very realistic for a video game, very realistic. So I love it. And so that can be fun, but even if I play really hard on that, I can work up a sweat, but it's not really, a lot of exercise. It's just sort of, kind of gets you going or warmed up more than anything, because it's not real. I can only run back and forth to such a certain distance in my family room. It's like a tennis court where you've got 25 feet or whatever of width to run. So anyway. So there's that, and we play that occasionally, but he doesn't like to play it because I always beat him. And he likes to play golf, not so much in real life, but on the video game. He's really good at the golf. I'm really good at the tennis. So that's just my point. My advice is to people who are actually interested in physical fitness, to pursue an activity that actually makes sense, that's fun, that actually is intellectually stimulating.